I wonder what's going to come of that though, because I was kind of thinking about this, and I don't know if you have opinion. Sorry if this is like going a little bit off topic, but like that book coming out next week from Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson about the Biden mental decline and like the cover up.
You want my hot take? Because I was thinking about this today.
Yeah, yeah.
My hot take is that it is going to get so little coverage.
Oh, really?
I think that the media is going to treat it the way, because here's the thing. The media ignored it. The media ignored Biden at the moment. So how does it benefit them to give light to what they got wrong? Nobody in the media, in the traditional media, is going to do that. And so they are going to, unlike Trump, right? Because I was thinking about this, like, and I think we might have talked about this, and which was, all you need is that one person. You just need that one insider to go out and be like, oh yeah, like we did some fucked up shit to hide Biden stuff. And you're like, that's it. As soon as he starts to make his dollar, everybody else is. But here's the thing. It worked with Trump because the media was looking to bash Trump. The media was just waiting for the first person. And then because that first person made so much money and got so much attention, everybody else was like, well, heck yeah, like I want to get my bag. But this time, I don't. And again, Jake Tapper, like, he's not like just this, like, he's a media guy, right? It's not like, a senior advisor is coming out and saying like, okay, guys, I know everything, right? The media is going to say, we don't want to show everybody how we got this wrong and how we were frankly like involved in the cover up.
So it's funny that you're saying this because this book is being covered all over right-wing media, but it's like,
exactly.
How dare Jake Tapper write this book?
Exactly.
But like, okay, so
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's all around right wing, right? But the Washington Post isn't talking about. The New York Times isn't covering it. Like in the same. Remember when who was, I don't even remember who the first one was, but there were 5 different people that came out with a book as soon as the Trump presidency ended, and everybody just MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, they went after. Why? Because they were like, haha, see, we were right and you were wrong. This time is, we can't talk about this. If we talk about this, everyone's going to bring up the fact that we had convinced everybody that we went out and said, no, we spoke to Joe Biden and he was perfectly fine and he was so sharp and this or that. They can't do it. And so if they don't do it, they're not going to make the money. And so if they don't make the money, they're going to look at the sales and be like, you know what? There's nothing in it for me. I can't sacrifice my entire career to get 500 book sales.
You know what's really interesting about that though is like there's been this paradigm forever, as long as I've been in politics, where it's like, if the left wing media does not cover anything, or like legacy media, dominant media, whatever you want to call it, if they don't cover it and the right wing media goes crazy with that, they can just say, oh, well, see, it's all a right wing conspiracy. And to be fair, a lot of right wing media really overplays some of these things.
Correct.
But like that's what they tried to do with the Biden mental decline. And like they were just like, oh, that's just right wing media craziness. And then that's just them going nuts. They don't know what they're talking about. They're all crazy. And then everybody sees them at the debate and it's like, well, I think the right was onto something.
But there's a reason why they haven't covered it. There's a reason why, if you think about it from this perspective, if they were going to cover it like journalists, like they're doing their job, they would have been investigating it since the end of his presidency, right? But if you think about it from this perspective, there's a reason why they never asked Kamala about her involvement with covering up his mental decline. And so
Brett Baer did. He was the only one.
Right. But Brett Baer is a conservative, right? And because they knew that if they went after Kamala, they know what the truth is. They know what the truth is. And so there's no incentive for them to pump this book up. And if there's no incentive for this book to pump this book up, then it's not going to get the sales. And so therefore other Democratic insiders who could tell more theories and tell more stories are going to realize that they don't have the type of reputation and the type of wealth that Jake Tapper already has. And so there's no incentive for them. They can't burn their career with the entire Democratic Party for 1,000 book sales or for 10,000 book sales that frankly they're going to see very little of overall. And especially if they have to almost always align themselves with right-wing media correspondents, it makes it even worse. And so we're just in this place where we're never going to get the type of coverage on this that it deserves.
So this is my point though with this is like, okay, I thought that they would maybe have to shift that paradigm, and especially if Tapper's on the book, even though he was one of the worst ones covering it up, in my opinion, but
Yeah,
whatever. Alex Thompson was fine. But how are the Democrats going to recover trust with the voter if they've never even publicly said, like, hey, we
they
got this
won't.
one wrong, guys?
They won't.
And so if they don't recover trust, do you think that that's a split off into like two parties, or what is it?